Well, here we are. Finally back. Here I am, posted up, relaxing in my bed. I'm not gonna get too. I figured this is a pretty chill spot to do it. I don't really have to get a lot set up. Just throw the camera up, bring the mic over to me, and that's that. So, everybody, make sure you tell me happy birthday. Today is my birthday, November 3rd. 2000. It is my 23rd birthday, my Jordan year birthday, as some people say. I'm not wearing a hat. The reason for that is because, for one, I just got out of the shower. When I get out of the shower, before I put a hat on, my hair is in its like nicest looking, formula. It looks the best right out of the shower. No idea why, but it might still be a little damp. So maybe by the end of the episode, it looks a little better. But speaking of not wearing a hat, I got a new one. This is right here. Burlington, Vermont. If you've never heard of Burlington, Vermont, like myself, look it up. Beautiful ass town. I got a new hat because every single time. So my usual hat was a Pirates hat. I always wore Pittsburgh Pirates hat for like the past 5 years at least. Maybe a different hat for a couple months, somewhere in that time span. But for the most part, it was always Pittsburgh Pirates. And I don't watch baseball. That's the thing. I'm a poser by wearing that hat. I can recognize that to be truth. I know that. But at the same time, it's just a nice hat. It looks good. And that's the only reason I would wear it. I didn't wear it because I wanted everybody to think that I was a raging Pirates fan. I know nothing about baseball. Never have claimed to either. I could probably give you I'd give you one Pirates player. Andrew McCutcheon. That's it. That's literally it. I think Garrett Cole used to play for him. And that's it. That's all I know. I don't watch baseball. And just this past week really drove home that I need to get a new hat. At least if somebody sees the Burlington, Vermont hat, they're going to be like, oh, what's that? And I'll be like, oh, it's just town. I can bullshit my way out of that. I can't bullshit. You can bullshit about something that the person that's asking you doesn't know anything about. Be like, oh, yeah, Burlington, Vermont. Yeah, it's super nice. I went there for vacation fucking 6 years ago. It was beautiful. Someone says something about, oh, so how do you think the Buccos are doing this year? I'm like, fuck. They're playing baseball. Yep, that's what they do. Like, I legit have no clue when people ask me that. So I was at the gym, and this guy stops me. So this is the entire. I'm gonna give you the rundown of our interaction. So this dude, I've seen him in the gym multiple times, but I've never spoke to him. And he stops me and says, so I was squatting. I was doing legs. It was Tuesday. And he stops me, and I have my music going. And as I'm walking to go get more weights, I can tell that he's kind of approaching me. So I kind of pop a earbud out so I can try to hear him. And all I hear him say is, juicy ass, huh? Or something like that. Something about juicy ass. And I'm like, what the is this guy really trying to fuck me right now? Like, bro, come on. We're in fucking rural Ohio. This is not the place to be shooting your shot of that caliber. Not that I have anything wrong with that. But after I hear just the juicy ass come in, I pull the earbud completely. I'm like, what? And he's like, doing a juicy ass leg day today? I'm like, oh, yep. Yes, sir, I am. And he's like, oh, yeah. Blah, 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 something. Goes on about something with legs. And I'm like, yeah, I might do a little hip stuff too. And then, boom, I notice he's wearing an Atlanta Braves hat. He must at some point notice I'm wearing a Pittsburgh Pirates hat and decides to throw baseball at me. Not a baseball, but baseball questions, in which I have no answer to. So who you think's going to win? The Diamondbacks or the Rangers? I'm like, shit, bro. Probably like the Diamondbacks. And if I'm being completely honest, this is how little I know about baseball. I didn't even know that the Diamondbacks and the Rangers were the teams in the World Series. No idea. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a game of baseball. I don't know if I've ever watched a game of baseball in entirety. I sure as hell haven't watched one recently. At least not recently enough to give you a name of any baseball player almost ever. But then he keeps going on about, like, he hears my take and he's like, yeah, they are both primed for making comebacks. They're both good at comebacks. I'm like, yep, they sure are. And then he said something about the Phillies, and I'm like, yeah. He's like my best friend, he's a Phillies fan, so I just bust his balls about it. I'm like, yeah, I fucking hate the Phillies. It's like, yeah, I played a team called the Phillies in Little League, and I always hated them. He's like, all right, bro, I gotta get back to the. This is enough of this conversation. So I just put my earbuds back in. I'm like, I'm gonna avoid this guy at all costs today. No chance do I want to put myself in. If he would have started talking about football, or kept talking about the gym, some stuff that I have actual interest and knowledge in, I'd have been all in. I love having conversations with random strangers. But I hate having conversations with random strangers about shit that I have no fucking idea what's going on. I get it. It's on me that I wear a Pirates hat and I don't know shit about baseball. I get that. I can't help it though. But so that's the new hat. And speaking of the gym, I'm back on. There months ago, I was on a 6-week program for my boy Tyreek. I'm back on it. It's like trial run number 2, and we've been going at it. We're in the 3rd week right now, about to crescendo into the 4th. I've lost 10 pounds. Hell yes, baby. I went to Nashville last weekend, was it? Not last weekend. Weekend before. Maybe it was last weekend. Shit, I don't know. I don't remember. Let's look. We can just do some simple Googling. No, it wasn't last weekend. It was the weekend before last. Went down to Nashville to see my boy. One of his boys, which has in turn became one of my boys, Anthony. He was down there, and we had a fucking sick-ass time. I got down there. I left work Thursday. I took Friday and Monday off. I got off work Thursday and pretty much hit the road right after. I got off work at 2. I was on the interstate by 3. And I didn't get there till probably 8:30, 9 o'clock, somewhere in that hour time frame. But the time changes, so it goes back an hour. So if I were to get there at 9 Tennessee time, it's actually 10 Ohio time. So I got there, we ate some dinner. Friday we went and we went to the gym. I benched 350 pounds. I'm fucking yoked. Benched 350. And then we went out to a bar. A couple bars, actually. I met some smoking out 35-year-old lady. Next time I'm in town, you better hide your mothers, people. Spread the word, because I'm MILF hunting, okay? That's what I'm doing. I got my rangefinder up, and I got my sights locked on local MILFs in my area. You better hide them, because I'm going to fucking find them. Dude, no chance. For one, if I wasn't drunk, I wouldn't have even went up to this lady, and I assume she was a little tipsy, because I can't imagine I'd have got a shot. I mean, I'm not talking she's a 10. I mean, she's probably like a 6.5, 7. I mean, but still, when you're looking at it from 1, drunk eyes, and 2, the standards and not standards as in standards that I've set for myself, or standards that, but just standards of precedented standards. That's what it is. Looking, that's not like a 6.5, 7. Brother, most of the time they don't even fucking look my way. But this time, she did. Secured the digits. She was like, it was so awesome that you asked me for my number. People don't do that anymore. I'm like, shit, baby, that's what I do. That's what I do, girl. That's what I do. She's like, when you come into town again? I'm like, shit, when you gonna fly me out, boo? That's what I told her. She was like, I don't know you. Like, playing hard to get. Women. How did you get my number? I'm like, oh, really? Just playing that card. Come on, girl. Don't play with me. You know you want it. You know you want this. No, yeah, we went to some bars. I met some people. That's the thing. When I was talking about talking to the dude in the gym, I like talking to strangers. It's just fun to do for me for whatever reason. But I'm most inclined to talk to strangers when I have some alcohol in my system. I mean, I am like a moth to a flame to a stranger when I'm drunk. I'm drunk. I see somebody, I'm like, I just made a new best friend every single time. I met some dude who's a musician. His name's like Chuck Feldner or something like that. Met some guy that owned a bar in Nashville. Met some Canadian people. Met some gay guys. It was so fucking dope. Just every single person, and I'm always super nice. So I go up and I'm like, hey, I love you. And they're like, oh my gosh, this guy's fucking awesome. Like, hey, what can I say? So I went to the bars. As we're leaving the bar, I'd say it's probably 11 o'clock, midnight-ish. And we walked about a block from the bar waiting for our Lyft or Uber, whichever one it was. I didn't call it. And we're standing in front of a McDonald's, just right in front of a McDonald's. And a car pulls out of McDonald's drive-thru, and they're coming up to the road to get on, or they're coming out of the drive-thru to get onto the street. Well, there's like two cars coming down on the, going this way. Well, this lady decides she thinks that she can make this impossible fucking feat of a turn. And she, not only does she try to like get in front of them, she tries to get around and into the other lane. So as she tries to do that, she gets absolutely fucking crushed. Gets T-boned, just smokes her. Well, she takes the T-bone right into a full U-turn, pulls right back into the McDonald's. The person who hits her pulls off at like the next store up, and they stop. Kind of, I assume they like try to get their bearings straight, and then they just fucking zoom off. I don't know. I didn't see the damage on the other car, but her car was, it hit her right in the driver's side door, crushed it in. I mean, she was pretty fucked up. And like me, Anthony, and Tyreek, we're like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? And as we're trying to like assess the situation, more people show up, and we're trying to, hey, can you open your door so we can help you? And she's like, oh my gosh, like she is so lost she has no clue what had just happened to her. And there's debris in the street, and I go out and I'm like cleaning up the debris and stuff, throwing it on the side of the road because people are still driving by and they're just hitting it. And I'm like, let me go try to be a good Samaritan and get this stuff out of the road. So I get a lot of the stuff out of the road. As I'm getting the stuff out of the road, cops pull up and they're assessing her. Well, I run out of the road and I kind of stand on a tree, lean up against a tree, probably, 20 feet away, not far away, but I'm not right there up next. I'm not even with my boys. I'm just posted up on the tree, and a cop walks up to me and he's like, excuse me, sir, are you involved in this? I'm like, me? No. I'm just trying to act sober in front of police. That's all. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. So they bust this lady's door open, get her on a stretcher, get in her ambulance. No idea what happened to the lady. She didn't seem like she was that fucked up. Like, she was coherent. All her airbags had went off, which was so insane. And I also wondered what happened to the people who hit her. Because, like, what happens with that? If you hit and run somebody, that means in the grand scheme of things, the lady that got T-boned, it was 1,000% her fault. No doubt in my mind was it her fault. But at least that lady like stuck around and was like, I'm fucked up. The other person just dipped. So what? They drive home with a fucked up car. Sorry for the barks. Sorry for the barking. Anyway, what does that person do? Get home with a fucked up car? What do you do from that? Do you take it to does insurance cover an unreported crash? I don't know. Anyway, we finally get back. Well, no, actually, our Uber driver was right behind the accident. So she witnessed pretty much all of it. But this lady was one of those people that just felt like she was, like she had to take charge of the entire situation. So she's like so invested with the entire thing. Like, she's talking to the cops, and the cops are like, yep, okay. There really wasn't much to tell the cops. It was a car. It was a Range Rover. And the only reason I know that is because, for one, somebody said it. And then as I'm picking up debris out of the road, I find the little emblem in the middle of the road. And I pocketed that shit. I kept it. It's so sick. I left it in Nashville, but I took it back to my boy's crib. And so she's just like, oh my gosh, I got to tell my uncle. I'm going to, she was going like somewhere the following day to see her uncle. And she's like, oh my gosh, I got to tell my uncle about this tomorrow. Oh my gosh, he's going to love this. And we're all just like, yep. Mm-hmm. Cool. So we're like, are you going to take us home? She's like, no, I think I'm going to have to stay and answer questions since I saw it all happen. I mean, why would they need to take questions from you? I was literally standing on the side of the road, watched the entire thing unfold. Like I said, there was nothing to explain. It was a car, hit another car. Car that hit the car drove away. The car that got hit is still here. Boom. That's it. That's it. I'll tell you what the car was. I don't know what the license plate number was. Nobody knew what the license plate number was. And that's it. There's nothing else to say. But like I said, I was actually kind of happy that she felt like she was such an integral piece of this investigation, because I did not want to have to ride in a car with her. But we eventually get back. We call it a night. Saturday, wake up. Ohio State, Penn State. In the shoe, right? Was it in the shoe? I think it was in the shoe. Who cares? Wherever it was, they played. So we went to a little, they called it Corner Pub. That's what the restaurant's called. So we go there, we watch the game, we get some food. We come back to the apartment. We all take a nap. And then we go to this restaurant called Pollo Campero. It's like a Central American fast food chain or something. I don't know. It was super, super good. Good price, super nice people. They had some really good empanadas. Empanada. So fire. So fire. Well, after we do that, we go to a haunted house. Not a legitimate haunted house, but one of those like constructed Halloween locations where they get some scary shit built up and people jump out and scare you. Usually those are not my cup of tea. I've never once in my life have I ever been like, you know what, guys, let's go do that. Never ever have I ever done that. That's just not my speed. I don't like that kind of stuff. So I decided I'll man up. I'm in town for just this weekend. Let's go do it. Fortunately, it was not that scary. Also, when you're prepared to be scared, you don't get scared as much. But they will get you sometimes. They do get you. You're like, oh, yeah, that's so scary. Thinking the next scare is going to be like 15 feet in front of you. And they're like, it's right here. Bah! And you're like, oh, shit. Got me a couple times. But it was kind of like you're going through there and you're like creeping around these turns and you're like, somebody's going to be around this corner. Nobody's there. So I think if they were better employed, they could have a fucking crazy ass haunted house on their hands. But there was some cool stuff there. And then Sunday I woke up. I was going to go home Monday. But Anthony went home on Sunday. And I was like, you know what? I got Monday off. I'll just drive home today. And then Monday, I'll have just a day to chill. Catch up on, laundry and shit. So that's what I did. And then, so that was the weekend in Nashville. I've been reading. So part of this 6-week program is you have to read every day. So the last book I read was Tom Segura. It was a Tom Segura book, comedian. This time, I'm reading this book. It's by this guy, Tom O'Neill. It's called Chaos. Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s. It's a pretty thick book. But it's a pretty fucking sick book, too. Awesome book. I don't even think I've scratched the surface on the coolness of it. It's about it's centered around Charles Manson and the stuff that went down with the whole Charles Manson stuff. And I've heard of Charles Manson, but I never knew what I know about Charles Manson now before I started reading that. Super good read. It's 10 minutes a day reading. Half the time I find myself reading for 15, 20 at least. It's just a good time all around. But then this past weekend, did I even do anything this past weekend? I don't think so. I think I just chilled the freak out. But this past week, so this week is a pretty big week in the world because on the 31st, which was what, Tuesday, I believe? Yes, is Halloween. I was going to dress up in some kind of costume, but I don't have one, so I didn't. But Halloween was cool. Another thing with this 6-week thing is I can't eat candy pretty much. Like there are some loopholes, but the thing is you can't eat more than like I think it's 36 grams of added sugar a day. That's your thing. If you go over that, boom, instant failure. So I know myself, and I will fucking destroy candy. Like I will literally murder all the candy in the world with zero regret either. I'm a candy boy, chocolate, candy, everything. And Tuesday at work, people come and they bring us like 2 bags of candy, just like with the best candy you could imagine too. Like it's not like dollar store generic candy. Like it's like Reese's and Skittles and Snickers and Milky Ways. And I'm just like, why are you guys doing this to me? Why are you? What is your issue? So I have it locked up in a hidden place. I know exactly where it is, which is not good. I should have had somebody else hide it for me because it's not good for me, bro. That's where I fail, is in the candy department. Sorry, I need a drink. Water. Delicious. So yesterday I went to the gym. This is just a funny little snippet. I thought this was hilarious. So I get home from work yesterday and I go to the gym afterwards, and I'm at a red light, or it's a red light turning green. And I'm going this way. And as I'm going this way, there's like 3 cars in front of me, so it's going a little slow. But there's one car coming the other way. And this guy, he's not going very fast, but he has a green light, so he's going. Well, somebody coming this way pulls right out in front of him. Like I say, he wasn't going fast. There was no accident, no risk of an accident, really. I mean, if he would have been going faster, of course there would have been, but there was not in this case. But this guy just, I look at the dude, and he just looks around, like has like a confused look on his face, and he's like, looks around, puts his hand out the window, and does the boy, like with your hand, boy. And I like saw it, and I was like, ew. And I got past him, and I just started cracking up. I'm like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. It was so funny. It's not funny to tell it. Nobody understands. But it was funny to me, okay? Jeez, get off my fucking back. But it's Friday. It's 3 o'clock right now. You're probably thinking, Josh, 3 o'clock? You should be at the gym. You just got off work an hour ago. No. Nope. I didn't work today. I didn't plan on working today regardless because I took it off for my birthday. It's like, I don't want to work on my fucking birthday. This is a day where it's supposed to be about me. You got to work on your birthday. It ain't about you, brother. It ain't about you. So I decided I'm just gonna take the day off. Well, we get some news on Wednesday or Thursday that, hey, you guys aren't working on Fridays anymore. Which a lot of people be like, yo, that's sick. You get 3-day weekends all the time. It is kind of sick. But at the same time, it kind of stinks because it's 16 hours off paycheck. So that kind of sucks. But so that's what my Fridays are. You know, I slept in to 8:30 today. I'm a big fan of sleeping in. And that's the thing. I think it's very important that on, your days off, most people, Saturdays and Sundays, sleep in. Sleep in as long as you can. I know a lot of people say, oh, you're sleeping your day away, I don't disagree on that. But at the same time, especially if you're somebody that doesn't get your full 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours that they recommend that you get, if you don't get the full sleep in there, you feel it all week. So if you've caught up on sleep on Saturday and Sunday, say Sunday night when you go to bed, say you have a harder time falling asleep, you only get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep. You're not going to be hurting that bad because you got some sleep hours stocked up. You got a little bit stocked up. But as the week goes on, if you continue to only have 5 hours of sleep, by the time it hits Thursday, Friday, even Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you are like getting up at the very last minute, having to rush around, and then you're just all thrown out for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, the next day, the following day, whatever. So I always loves to sleep in, man. I love sleeping. I love taking naps. I might try to squeeze one in tomorrow, maybe. Maybe I'll squeeze one in today. I don't know. Who knows? The day is young. It's 3:00, baby. I could get a fucking 1 hour, 2 hour. Once you go over 2, you wake up and you're like, what planet am I on? That's real. We've all been there. My nephew, shout out my neffs, pretty sick. Both of them, all 3 of them actually. There's 3. Only 2 of them are like illiterate and coherent. The other one's a baby. But my oldest one yesterday, so he's wrestling. Their coach is like, hey, kids, go get some drinks. So they all are like, let's race to the water fountain. So that's what they do. They start racing to the water fountain. For whatever reason, there's a scissor lift in the school, in the hallway. I assume right around a corner or something. My nephew's full sprint. I know. He's like the most reckless kid I've ever seen in my life. Full sprint to this water fountain, apparently. Falls. Smashes into this fucking scissor lift. Huge gash on the side of his face. Busts his lip up. Dude, I seen a picture of him like, damn. Dude got fucking hammered. But I said, look, it looks terrible. Not gonna deny that. But think of how fucking sick of a scar that's gonna be. Bro. Scars are underrated pieces of like, that's the same as having like a cool chain on. You got a sick scar on your face? Oh. Pretty tight. I used to have one right here. I used to have a scar right on the bridge of my nose. And it was the coolest thing in the world. And it's gone away. Which sucks because I still have a scar on my arm from when a dog bit me. But this one on my bridge of my nose is gone. Why did the scar leave? It was so cool. Because I used to get, when the scar happened, I'd get tan, and the scar doesn't tan. So it would be like tan face with a scar right there. It was so cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. That's all I got for you this week. Look, this is all I'm saying. Little wheels are turning. This is comfy. If you guys like this setup, me just chilling in my bed, let me know. Again, tell me happy birthday in the comments or text me or something. Because if you don't, I'm going to be truly hurt and offended. And if you don't do it today, at least say belated whenever you say it. Hey, happy belated. Not delayed or late. Say belated. That being said, yo, have a great weekend. Go Steelers. They just won last night. That was fucking awesome. Fuck yeah. Fire Canada. Or not. He didn't do too bad last night. And yeah, peace out. I love you.